Given the fact that the union buildings are in Pretoria, do you think that Parliament should move to Joburg? I mean, the National Assembly famously, or infamously rather, burnt down. They're busy building it now. I mean, they got us in a dome in a parking lot. Do you think we should move to Joburg?
So remember, I think it was in his final State of the Nation address, Jacob Zuma said that there would be a study established to relocate Parliament to Pretoria. On the question, should Parliament move to Pretoria, or at least in Gauteng? Yes and no. Yes, because a decentralized 3 branches of government is a burden on a tax base.
Yeah.
We essentially have to duplicate everything. So we need a ministerial office in the executive headquarters in Pretoria, and we need one at the legislative headquarters. We give and we bestow housing on ministers, so you need a home in Pretoria and you need a home in Cape Town. You have protectors who are assigned to you, but you would have protectors in Gauteng, which would cover then the northern part, or the north and eastern part of the country, and then you have a team here in the Western Cape and the southern and the western part of the country. So everything is duplicated. And how do we cut those costs in half? We centralize government in one general regional location, probably in Gauteng. But in order to do so, we're going to have to build a new parliament. We're going to have to build a new parliamentary precinct. We're going to have to build a new parliamentary village, because remember, we have 400 MPs and 90 delegates of the NCOP who leave their hometowns, provinces, to travel to a parliament. You need to put them in some form of accommodation. You need to buy the land. You need to assess that land. You need to make sure that it's actually conducive to locate a new parliament. In our current fiscal standing, we can't afford that. The next 5 years, the next 10 years, 15, 20, we're not going to be able to afford that. And that is why I say yes and no, but there's also an emotive reason for why I probably think Parliament should stay in Cape Town. It's all part of the 1910 Union of South Africa compromise, in that the different branches of the South African government, still then under the control of the British, is that you'd have the executive at the union buildings, you'd have the judiciary at in Bloemfontein, and you'd have Parliament in Cape Town. So it brought together the 2 Boer republics, Natal and the Cape Province, together as one. Symbolically, we're sharing power across the country. So that is how it has stayed. Post 1994, you could argue, well, we're a new country. We don't need that. But I think there's something to say about our current politics and why the Western Cape and Cape Town is still important, particularly when we talk about how the Western Cape performs compared to other parts, and whether the Western Cape is South Africa. And that if there was a decision and money found to say in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we are relocating Parliament to Gauteng, what is there that keeps the Western Cape and Cape Town invested in South Africa? I think that Cape secession is dead in the water. It's not going to happen. It's a pipe dream, and I don't know what people are smoking. But in terms of Cape Townians and Western Cape citizens investing in Project Democracy South Africa, if you were to move the one thing that connects Cape Town, the rest of the country, to Gauteng, there's very little that's left here. And then you end up driving the Western Cape and the Cape Town further and further away, and then the Cape then ends up isolating itself. So politically, it wouldn't make sense, part of a democratic project, to say, nix it, we're moving everything to Gauteng. You?
I don't think the parliament should move, mainly because I don't want to move. That's point number one. But point number two, travel is inevitable. And when you think about it, Parliament, I mean, they're going on recess now from the 28th of July to the 14th of September. Parliament then goes on another longer recess period at the end of the year, from about around the 15th of December up until the beginning of February. In between that, we have constituency weeks when MPs aren't at Parliament. So when you look at the amount of time that they spend in Parliament, I don't think that there is enough of a reason to have everything and the entire setup and system as it is now based in Cape Town move to Joburg, because MPs are still going to have to travel. They live across the country. The accessibility point is a point of contention because a lot of MPs do originally come from Joburg, they originally come from Pretoria, the executive offices are there. There's a lot of fluidity, especially with the staffers. I mean, staffers have double offices, both in Pretoria and here in Cape Town. And yes, there is an occurring cost, but I don't think that moving to Joburg is going to solve massively what the issues that we face now. And I think that there are many benefits to having Parliament in Cape Town, and I like living in Cape Town. So.
And politicians like coming.
And politicians like coming to Cape Town.